and gentlemen, I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is a something to expect, right? Something to expect because obviously uh it's the far left. It's the insanity of the far left, and we all know on how radical and insane that they can be when they don't get what they want. So what is going to happening here is that national security agencies are pretty much just telling Trump, "Hey, man, you got to be careful. You got to be safe because you're being a potential target right now during your inauguration." And what we have here from the post millennial say national security agencies warn Trump inauguration is attractive potential target for threats. I want to say here, President-elect Donald Trump's Monday inauguration will be an attractive potential target for violence, U.S. National Security Agency are warning, despite saying there are currently no specific credible threats against the event. A group of intelligence and law enforcement agencies in a threat assessment that hasn't been released to the public, which was obtained by Politico, that potential perpetrators like those with election-related grievances may see the event as their opportunity to influence election results through violence. The threat assessment was compiled by the FBI, Secret Service, Capitol Police, the Washington, D.C. government, and the Supreme Court's police. It laid out multitudes of scenarios that could occur, which such as foreign terrorists, domestic extremists, and lone wolves initiating bomb hoaxes, drone flights, and vehicle ramming attacks, and swanning calls. The threat assessment noted that Iran, which has sought to kill Trump or his national security advisors in an act of revenge for the killing of General Qasem Soleimani. The threat assessment said that in response to a video posted to Telegram the day after Election Day by a media entity aligned with the Islamic Revolutionary Guards, 700,000 users threatened to assassinate Trump. Law enforcement is also concerned about protests around the inauguration turning disorderly, with multiple groups applying for demonstration permits, including some groups whose previous protests ended with arrests. The threat assessment stated past protests by some of these individuals has involved traffic blockades, trespassing, property destruction, and resisting arrest. Politico noted that the report was similarly formatted to the threat assessment sent out by agencies ahead of President Biden's inauguration. Former counterterrorism official John Cohen, who helped with security planning for Biden's inauguration, said that this year's event faces more threats than the inauguration 4 years ago. As somebody who was involved in the planning of the last inauguration, the threat environment was dangerous, Cohen said. As I sit here today, based on the work I've been doing with the law enforcement for the past 4 years, the threat environment today is even more volatile and more dangerous than it was in 2021. I agree. So yeah, that is what's going on here. They're pretty much saying that Trump is in threat of a potential being a target for inauguration. Now, I can see this. Now, guys, I have told you before, right, where essentially the leftists were planning a actual riot. I would say riot. They say protest. I say riot. During tomorrow, essentially Saturday, the 18th, and to protest the inauguration of Trump. And it's not really too much of a surprise here because as I said when I reported this not too long ago from Andy No, pretty much saying that the leftist ice cream corporation Ben & Jerry's is helping to organize a direct action against fascism on January 18th to oppose the inauguration of Donald Trump, which is tomorrow. Ben & Jerry's company of politics is notoriously radical. They gave food to rioters at the Violent Chaz Corporation in Seattle in 2020 and released propaganda demanding the defunding of law enforcement. They also advocate for the transitioning of children. This is easily known, and this is obviously what Ben & Jerry's is talking about. With wanting power to the people on January 18th. We're joining the People's March in Washington D.C. and beyond to send an urgent message to the incoming administration. So yeah. They are planning a riot/protest. It's most likely going to be a riot because you can't control that many people. And that's going to be happening tomorrow across the country. So we'll see on how this goes. But again, this is no real surprise. These leftists are insane. These leftists have problems. These leftists need help. I'm not too surprised that this is going to be happening. We'll see on how true and how often Ben and Jerry's is going to hold up on tomorrow's in quotation marks protest and see what the true resurrection is. This will not look good for the Democrats. You know, I almost want this to happen, right? For the Democratic Party, for them to do this. Because if they do any sort of riots or quote unquote January 18th, because this would be their January 6th type deal, this will look very bad. And the Democrats will lose all credibility and saying, oh, Trump's a fascist or whatever, because you have a very far left woke company that was organizing a riot / protest. And then things went awry and things went bad in Washington, D.C., and things were attacking and what have you. This is also not going to talk, we're also not going to forget that the fact that there could still be a major protest or major riot on January 20th from these radicals, from these insane people. So I have to keep that in mind. So yeah, it seems that the election related grievances may see the event as their last opportunity to influence election results through violence. And again, these radicals right here, the far left, will most likely end up doing this because these people are unhinged, as I keep on saying over and over again. And we'll see what happens. But be as it may, we're super, super close to Trump being inaugurated here. We're super, super close to ending this horrible regime of Joe Biden, and maybe we can get back onto some normalcy, and God forbid, never, ever, ever have to go back to that woke insanity ever again. Well, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, this social media.